Path of Night, War of Ages is an actual play Vampire the Masquerade Dark Ages podcast set in the world of darkness. We're all friends, we're here to have fun, but our story can include graphic violence, drug use, sexual content, and other mature themes. Content warnings can be found in the show notes. We've talked at our table about safety, comfort, and consent both as players and storytellers. We know what to expect, we're all excited to be here, and we want you to feel the same. So listener discretion is advised. And so continues the War of Ages.
Last time on War of Ages. Zorion negotiated an alliance, a mutual blood bond and more, with Nova Arpad. Roland received much attention after his victory in the joust, including the apparent enmity of the local sheriff. Catrinel and Sadhbh observed the party. And Alexios mysteriously never arrived. Amun. You arrive to the roof, where your point of contact, Farik, is waiting. There, you find him waiting and not concealed under the guise he might normally wear, using the mask of 1,000 faces. And the man before you has dark skin, a thick beard. He is dressed in black and seems quite comfortable having such a clandestine rooftop meeting with the mysterious disciple of Anubis. He greets you and says, "You have traveled far to hunt the man Roland. I will provide you what I know."
Very good.
He keeps a retinue, armed guards, agents of the Eastern Lords. This retinue does not simply serve as protectors for his properties amidst the slave market. but abroad, escorting his merchants to and from as far as Baghdad, Alexandria, and Cairo. We believe that the slaves they are trafficking are ones acquired by the followers of Set. And so, we find ourselves allies of convenience to the Osirian League. As armed guard, what they wear, the arms they bear, and they are distinct, a means of identifying one another. I have obtained what you will need to blend in among them, to draw closer to your quarry. But to know that Roland is more careful than he seems. He knows the faces of his most trusted agents. It will get you in, but you will have to rely on your own skill to make it to him.
That shouldn't be a problem. Amun will disrobe completely normally right there and start putting on the clothing he's brought for him, and lastly takes off a necklace from underneath, holding it reverently, this Eye of Horus, and he briefly touches it to his head, and then he secures it inside the clothes in a way that it won't drop or won't be easily lost. But as he takes the necklace off, his hair uncurls and drops straight to his shoulders. His face narrows, the cheeks sharpen. He looks a lot less Greek and a lot more of his homeland, Egypt. And he grows just a little bit as the power of the necklace fades. And then he takes a look at the clothes and looks at Farik. Does this look right?
Yes, it will do.
How many of them?
12 guards, well-trained.
Cainites?
No. Ghouls. Vassals to Roland.
Not to be underestimated.
Not to be underestimated. But there are dozens, over 50 slaves that are kept there. And should they go loose, you may have an opportunity.
I see. Will any of your brotherhood be around to pick up survivors?
There is one who is monitoring. We have the means to cover an escape. But past the borders of Pest, they will be in the hands of Allah.
I'm not worried for me.
I understand. Go now.
Thank you.
I wish you well, Desert Wolf.
I'll grasp him in the forearm shake type deal, and then I will take off in the direction that he indicated.
Give me a Dex plus Athletics as you begin moving from roof to roof.
Does Graceful count on this?
Yeah.
Great. I will
Big
take
old ninja.
5 successes.
With 5 successes, you move through the night, unabated, with a perfect economy of motion to your destination, the slave quarter. The district is much more quiet now. There are guards who do patrol, both in service to the city and others private mercenaries. And they tend to keep watch as you draw to where you know Roland is hiding. You quickly spot a pair of archers who watch over the property, one drinking, but one vigilant.
Separated from the others?
Yes.
More or less. Great.
Within earshot, though.
So I want to get in a position to climb up to them or whatever, and however it may take, from like another rooftop to part it way up or from the bottom if needed. And before I climb, I would like to activate Obfuscate 1, Silence of Death, so that they can't hear me coming up the wall at all.
Okay. Give me a Strength plus Athletics as you scale the wall to reach them.
I'm going to boost my strength by 2. 1 success.
You make it right up to them, but are you detected? Roll me a dex plus stealth.
Counting gracefulness.
Yep.
11 successes.
They have 3. You get so close that you can smell the alcohol.
I will pull a dagger, and I will proceed to stab that man through the back of the neck.
Do you need a box, buddy?
Yeah, I did not expect to have the fistfuls of dice. 10 dice hit.
9 will roll over into damage.
7 lethal.
His throat gurgles as he slumps, taking the full 7 lethal. The drunk looks your way with a very confused expression and rolls initiative.
He probably doesn't hear it.
Oh, right. You have Silence of Death up.
Yep. So I grab him anyways, but there's no noise.
Yeah. As the round passes, the man continues bleeding out. He drowns in blood in your grasp.
And then I will turn and perform the same maneuver on his friend. 7 to hit, 6 rollover, plus 1 for dagger. 4 damage.
They soak 1 and take 3. At this point, you will roll initiative.
14.
They're going on 11. You're up.
Yeah, let's grapple him. 6 successes.
He is grappled. On his turn, he will struggle to escape and call for help. Unfortunately for him, no one hears his scream. Go ahead and roll me a strength plus brawl to maintain control of the grapple.
I'm spending a willpower on this. 5 successes.
He matches your successes and fails to break your hold.
6 successes.
He does not match your successes and fails to break your hold. Next round, we go to you.
This is where I bite and feed. 4 successes.
You sink your fangs into him and he submits to the kiss.
I will drain him dry.
He holds 10 blood.
Once done with that, I will prop him in the chair like he was there before, and I will observe the... So is this like a small walled-in court with like a tower type deal, or is it like a manor house? What am I looking at here?
It's more like a manor house with the guards having sort of walked the roof kind of patrolling. It is walled. From where you are, you can kind of look down and see that there are guards on the ground level walking the grounds and patrolling.
Is there any sign of any of the slaves that were mentioned?
Most of the slaves would be inside, but you do see that there is one pen that is holding about 10 people. They are very disheveled. They are not in good health. You do know that Roland has been acquiring what he describes as exotic slaves from abroad, and is providing them to some sort of ancient vampire with exquisite tastes. So those special detainees, some of whom you know to have been members of the cult of Isis, would be held inside where he can keep a close eye on them and keep them for his master.
So yeah, freeing these 10 would probably just get them slaughtered on their own.
Especially with the gate closed.
And how many patrolling men are now here? What we got? There was supposed to be a
outside, there should be a dozen total.
Yep.
Outside, you can see there are 4 men walking in pairs.
Looking down and seeing the slaves, the anger is palpable in his face. His face starts to change against his own will.
What does it change into?
On its own, it grows a muzzle, and from the nose and the face becomes more jackal-like, and he quickly gains control of it again, but he takes it as a sign. And he spends the blood and concentrates and grows taller. as his arms thicken and his legs thicken, growing a thin sheen of fur as the clothes meld into him. He sees the muzzle fully elongate. He can now feel the ears coming from the tops of his head more than his side. He flexes his hands, and the long claws extend from the tips, rounded but very sharp. And then I will look for a place to ambush two of the men walking, jump down behind them, and quickly dispatch them. I am still having Silence of Death, and I am quite possibly sneakier in this particular mode, even stealthier, as this form adds to all of my physical stats.
What does it add to all of your physical stats?
It adds 3 to all my physical stats, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
Oh, what is this?
With a +3 in each of your physical attributes, cloaked in the silence of death, and able to take advantage of ambushing these pairs, they really don't stand very much of a chance against you at this point. So, I'm comfortable stating that you land behind a pair, loom over them as they are unaware, towering as this 9-foot-tall, jackal-headed war monster. And in your war form, you take 4 lives. Does that sound fair?
They are dead men. I am now going to look into the manor house and try to see what's going on in there before I simply leap into there. Part of it is I don't want Roland to get away if too much of a commotion happens.
Inside, you can see that there are rooms with huddled people, lying on mats dressed in rags. Cattle to be fed to the monster that Roland serves. Among them, there is the occasional guard that peers into the space to make sure that these possessions are as they should be, huddled and asleep.
I'm going to make my way in quietly and start working through and killing these guards and trying to discover where Roland is.
Roll me a dexterity plus stealth roll.
How low are these ceilings?
They're pretty low. You're going to have to walk on 4s.
Graceful counting still?
Yep.
Great. That'll be 12 successes.
Okay. No successes. You stalk the rooms. And we're going to take a page out of Werewolf the Forsaken. And I want you to make 1 ambush roll. No ambush bonuses.
Okay. Just a regular.
Just give me your dex plus brawl.
Okay.
And tell me how many successes you get.
Graceful counting for this?
Not for the attack.
Okay. 7.
All right, Tim. Amun stalks the halls. And even though each split-second engagement ends in showers of gore and blood splattered across the wall and ceiling, no one ever hears anything. And little by little, despite the carnage, this place only seems to grow more and more quiet. And eventually, you find yourself peering into a study, dimly lit by candles. Within, you can see Roland scouring over Latin texts, a tome, a massive, massive book with strange art is being examined by the man, desperately as if he's searching for something. All around you are bubbles and minor objects collected over time. Books of science, astronomy, and mathematics collected from distant Baghdad. It seems like he is a man that intends to be more than he is, but struggles to read what is before him. Not just a pretender to the title of seneschal, but to that of scholar as well.
I will push the door open, counting on the silence of death to make sure it doesn't make any real noise. I'm going to start stealthing through the room and blowing out the candles.
You step into this much smaller study and blow out a candle. And he turns, and what does he see precisely?
He sees me blowing the candle out, staring directly at him, the claws unfurled. And as he turns towards me, I will make the leap to stab him with the claws, and I want to direct the blood away from whatever he's looking at if possible.
What
Well,
gear?
let's see how much of a fountain of gore he turns into when you claw him. He's going on 12.
16.
Okay.
7 to hit.
He is going to attempt to dodge you. He has 2 successes.
So that brings me down to 5, so 4 roll over. My claws give me +1.
He screams and shouts and says all sorts of things, but none of it is heard.
That'll be 6 ag.
Well, he has no fortitude, so he will take 6 levels of aggravated damage and is crippled. He puts his hands up and pleads.
I will take my giant foot and crush him to death.
Well, it's your turn. It's the next round. So.
Do I need to roll that out, or I think he's just dead at this point?
Yeah, I think you crush and rend him and
Yeah.
destroy him utterly, unless you are just reducing him to torpor.
No, I'm taking him to death, and then I will look around his study here, see if there's anything worth collecting that I can make out of about what's going on here. I don't want to be too long, but, I'm taking a look around.
There's a handful of things, and at this point, you can actually hear the sounds of bells, as if someone may have spotted a corpse left on a rooftop. So I'm going to give you a choice. You may leave with one of the 3 following things.
Sure.
There's a strange glass orb, perhaps crystal. There is the massive tome that was being examined. And there is a ledger detailing business transactions from between here and Baghdad.
As much as I would love more stuff, I will take the ledger, and I will de-transform as I leave the room so that I can free the slaves on the way out.
As you head to the rooms, the slaves are disturbed by the sounds of bells and then your arrival. And with fearful expressions, they regard you as you are dressed as one of the guards, clad in Roland's leathers and fashions he picked up from Baghdad.
You are free. The guards are dead. Roland is dead. Take what you can and go.
At first, there's this look of disbelief, and some of them are nodding between each other, and there's almost a stampede as people begin to rush, grab what they can, tearing things from the walls, and they begin to rush out. outside. There are a pair of guards who have arrived. The gate is open, and they're calling out, trying to see what's going on. When they see slaves starting to rush, they begin pulling weapons.
I'm going to get closer to them, and I go, the slaves are escaping, and when I'm close enough, I'm just going to stab one with the claws.
Yeah, give me a roll, man. That's great.
4 successes.
You stab him right in the underarm, and there's just this look of shock. And at that point, there are so many slaves on the run, many of whom who have big, heavy, bludgeoning objects. With your help, they will mash these 2 guards into bloody pulps and take their weapons. And it is at this point, the slave district, a wave of chaos erupts.
It's time for me to take my leave.
And you take your leave. After a time spent listening to Nova Arpad be wooed by Zorion, Catrinel and Sadhbh make their way back to the party. It isn't long before the two split, going separate ways, Sadhbh towards the musicians performing. But where does Catrinel go? What does she do?
Catrinel's attention is initially split between where Sadhbh might go, as she has sensed that Sadhbh tends to seek the protection of someone else's shade. But as the Toreador seems satisfied, seems to feel safe, Catrinel will drag her eyes across the room, maybe connect them once with Roland, just to indicate where his charge has gone. But ultimately, and in moments still seeming to listen for the sound of Zorion's coupling, whether she can hear it or not, there's a bit of a smirk and a tilt towards that area. But her eyes, as they linger across each face, pick out wherever the Fiendbreaker has landed.
Lucretia of Hearts can be seen sitting near the prince, goblet of wine in hand, not that she's drinking it, but rather enjoying the scent as she observes the festivities with a stoic expression.
Catrinel observes, openly, for a second, just watching this person be still. And then she slowly steps over. She's meant to say hello, and just that quick, what a lovely party, to the prince, acknowledgement, and ultimately land next to Lucretia. Catrinel will look, observing people, from the Fiendbreaker's viewpoint, just standing by that bunch of chairs for a moment and looking out at everyone else from this corner of the room. And then she'll turn. Would you mind if I sat with you?
I have no opinion, one way or the other.
Catrinel takes that almost as if it's an invitation. I'd wanted to introduce myself. My name is Catrinel. I hear you have a few names. Is that something that you have no opinion on as well?
There's this sigh that comes from her. I am driven by duty. the titles and affixations awarded to me. They are unimportant. But that does not mean I am without perception. Like you, for instance.
I wouldn't imagine you to be without perception, though I hardly know you.
I know you well. I have seen many like you. Driven by impulse, but ruled by insecurity. No matter how pretty you think you are, it will not give you confidence. You are not meant to rule. You are beautiful, like gossamer before dawn. Shining, delicate, but ultimately without substance. And that should suit you fine, because that is all you are meant to be. A sinner.
A big smile breaks across Catrinel's face at the accusation that she is a sinner. And that demonstrates the way that her fangs are always a little bit there in her smiles, those sharp edges. Is that then why you would choose to break fiends? To break something as thin as gossamer?
You are no fiend. These things are not one and the same. I do not consider you my enemy. You are a trophy that I am not interested in. Go sit on someone else's shelf. She will kind of get up, raise her goblet to you, and then walk away.
As she walks away, Catrinel lounges in her seat, sprawling across it as if it were a far nobler one, stretching, completely unladylike. You won't see me on a shelf, but you might see me on a throne. And Catrinel adjusts her hair, and flips it nicely back into place, stretches out her feet in her shoes, just luxuriating in being called beautiful.
The woman in armor that had, in passing, spoken to the group of you before with the wild hair and wearing armor to a party, steps away from the woman that she is the protector of for a moment and lends you this kind of half smirk. She thinks you're pretty.
I see I evoke poetry in the Stoic, images of gossamer and trophies.
It would seem that even Lucretia is capable of fantasy. And she then picks up Lucretia's goblet and pounds the wine that is in it, drinking it completely with no signs of any of the consequences that would soon follow for a Cainite doing such.
Catrinel reaches for the goblet after.
She will flourish, bow, and offer the lady the goblet.
Catrinel elegantly dips her head back to the illusions and behaviors of nobility, and she takes the goblet, and she sniffs it as if enjoying the dregs, the scent of wine.
Saif, you make your way to the musicians.
As Saif walks over, she, in this case, does not actually take her bowron off her hip. Instead, she pulls a small instrument out of one of the pouches on her belt. She pulls a small kalimba, very worn, somewhat out of tune, but could be put back in tune readily. And she sits beside the musicians. She finds one playing something that looks close to Zorion's guitar. It seems unlikely she'll find someone playing a Moorish guitar.
Certainly a shadow of that guitar's quality, but still an appropriately similar instrument.
And she will smile to the musician playing it. Would it be all right if I joined you?
He coughs and clears his throat, looking up at you. Yes, of course. Please.
It's all right, I know how to play.
I don't doubt that at all.
And she sits down and starts using her thumbs to play the instrument. Keeping in tune, compensating for the lack of tune, and she'll lean over to the musician with a smile on her heartrending gaze. What's your name?
Laszlo. I'm very fortunate in that way. The musicians, we are allowed to keep our thoughts. The way they help, if you will, is tended to by our Lord. Tends to destroy the creativity of those whom they bind. So, I get to have a name.
Sadhbh looks... She gets to practice looking nonchalant about that.
You have this look, and you realize that around the court, those who are pouring drinks and servants, they don't blink. They don't really have expressions on their faces. Their minds are wiped clean, and they are utterly subjugated.
Well, I'm very glad to make your acquaintance, Laszlo. I'm Sadhbh.
A pleasure, Saif. He dips his head.
Can I show you how to play this? And she motions to the kalimba in her hand.
I would love that. Thank you.
The kalimba is a relatively simple instrument, and she shows him how to make the scales and how to play with both thumbs on one, how to do chords with it. And if he's a musician of any skill, it's pretty easy to pick up.
The young blonde man is very pleased with the opportunity to learn and work with you.
She will casually put her hands on top of his to correct some of it, just kind of guiding in kind of a teaching motion. Possibly the way that she was taught as a younger child. But she knows what touch of people with a face as pretty as hers can do to people. So it's not without some ulterior motive. But she ultimately lets him hold it and play it. Would you do me a kindness?
Of course.
Would you trade me your guitar for my kalimba?
This whole thing.
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yes.
And he kind of picks up his guitar, looks it over for a moment, and then offers it to you.
I promise I'll treat it well.
Thank you. And are your... What is it? Kalimba?
Kalimba.
Kalimba.
It's from, You'll promise to treat it well, right?
I will. I promise.
The man who raised me gave it to me. It came from his homeland. But I need to make good on someone and make sure that music isn't lost for someone.
I will do that. I swear it.
I believe you, Laszlo. Would it be all right if I gave you the kiss?
He gives this, very bashful look, and kind of as close as you are to him, even in the dim light of the room, you can see that his face becomes very, flush
It's
with
all right.
the prospect of it.
It's all right to say no.
No, I'm not saying no. It's actually, I would love that. Would you care to go for a walk with me?
Perhaps to the balcony. Walking doesn't come easy.
I'll help you if you'd like.
She gives a smile. Just a balcony, then.
He will offer you his arm, and he will escort you to the balcony. And there, alone with him, he will offer you his throat.
Sadhbh is extremely gentle. Before she goes in for it, she does whisper, "Thank you, Laszlo." And then she goes in for the kiss. And she will only take 2.
You will take 2 blood, and you notice something while out on the balcony. In the distance, you can hear the echo of screams. And as you pull your head back, this poor boy is very tuckered out from this experience, and he will slump into his seat. But standing behind him, revealing its presence, is another figure. And this hooded man, kind of dark and mysterious, you recognize to be Elijah, a man who you very recently had met.
Saeed gives us a little yelp.
The sound you make fails to escape your lips, and he raises his index finger to his, hushing you, as if some sort of a warning, not from himself, but regarding the dangers of the world around you. And then slowly he lowers this silence of death that you've been shrouded in, and he speaks. Saif,
What the fuck are you doing here?
you are in grave danger.
I'm always in grave danger.
These circumstances are unusual.
Right?
A lupine has attacked the slave quarter, slaughtering many. The guards failed to save the people, and many are dead as a result.
What do you mean? I know what a lupine is. I know.
One in particular was killed. A Roland, the master of slaves.
Oh, good. Fuck that guy.
Yes, precisely. There is a rumor of a Koldun who has arrived to the city with you, one with ties to the lupines, one who has leveraged such a beast to slay Roland.
Oh, shit.
When they arrive, when Bulsku calls forth his men, yourself and the group you have arrived with will be detained for questions. You cannot allow them to hold you. You have to escape. You have to go.
Saeed kind of recognizes how tense her muscles have become. The cage inside her is rattling as her beast fears for itself. And she looks at Elijah, their eyes meeting, and she gives a terrified nod. All right, I'll go get the others and we'll leave.
Good. The voice in the dark. The whisper. Its instructions were clear. I am to get you back to your allies.
They're just inside.
He shapeshifts seemingly and looks like the boy. And he offers you his arm. Then I will get you to the room. You cannot waste time.
All right. And Saeed will kind of give another look at Laszlo to make sure that he's just sleeping.
Laszlo is asleep and has a frankly embarrassing smile on his face.
And Saeed will take Elijah's arm and walk towards the balcony door.
Elijah, wearing the face of Laszlo, will lead you back to where the court is gathered. Once you are there, he offers you a very polite bow after bringing you to a seat and will hastily, but unobtrusively, make an exit from the room.
Also returning from the balconies, Zorion and Nova Arpad come strolling in, walking close together, kind of giggling about inside jokes at this point, I would imagine. Two old friends just catching up at this point.
Two old friends with slightly disheveled hair.
And see Saeed with this seemingly mortal lad. He cocks an eyebrow at Saeed's new friend. And who is this?
That's Laszlo. Can you find Catrinel?
The boy bows and never meets your eyes.
Zorion stares at Laszlo and kind of watches him scuttle off.
Zorion. We need to leave. Can you find Catrinel?
Of course.
She looks at him like a frightened child running to an adult for help.
Nova, if you will excuse me, I have business to attend. By the way, when speaking with her, he actually probably switches to Hungarian, being that she's like an old Hungarian dynasty.
I don't have Hungarian.
You don't speak, yeah, so he says some words in a language you don't recognize to Nova. I am looking forward to meeting you again.
Until then.
I will get to know. He gives her kind of a hard look. Is everything all right?
No, we're about to be detained. We need to go.
His eyes don't register any kind of surprise, but he just kind of gives a quick nod. He'll scan the room. Where is Catrinel and Roland?
Catrinel is still sitting in the seat that she took by the Fiendbreaker. She's still toying with that chalice, running her fingers over it like the lover tracing patterns in someone else's forearm.
Roland is still over in that social conversation circle that he had made around Lady Dogmata and has probably attracted other kindred into the area. And he's very clearly like mid-story talking about some tournament that he was in, the north of France, besting some Breton who thought he was better than him, and mid-boast.
I'll go get Roland. You work on Catrinel.
Very well. Zorion will quickly glide along the floor towards Catrinel and move up towards her seat where she is lounged.
As you approach, she purposefully, expressively bites and licks her lips.
Are you enjoying yourself?
This whole thing has given me some things to think about. Did you enjoy yourself?
His eyes kind of wander around a little bit. I am enjoying the first moves we are making of establishing ourselves here. It is time for us to leave.
But you've already had so much fun.
He gives her a hard stare, and his head ever so slightly inclines.
She ignores him for a few moments, just adjusting the jewelry on her wrists.
Prince Rikard is also nearby, correct?
Yes, he is.
He turns to face him. My prince.
He shoves one of the beautiful women who serve him just out of his way for a moment as he turns to address you. Yes, of course, Zorion. What is on your mind?
He bows graciously. This has been one of the most magnificent parties I have been to in some time. You do a service to your sire with this magnificent Death Day celebration. But I fear I must excuse myself and the members of my coterie.
He stands up, and when he stands, everyone stands. And he will raise his very ornate, very jewel-studded goblet that he has been drinking from. And he says to you, Zorion, I have heard great things about the intellect and nobility of the Court of Shadows. And I must say, sir, that such stories paled in comparison to the truth. Whenever you wish it, you have my hospitality.
He bows even lower and sweeps a hand out. If ever you need this humble servant of the Court of Shadows, please do not hesitate to call upon me.
Sadhbh hobbles over to Roland.
And of course, he could not measure, though I would not do him the dishonor of not trying my level best, yes? Such as Sadhbh, please, join us. And he makes room, very pointedly, next to himself to join the social circle.
Sadhbh looks like, she's doing her level best to not look like she's about to throw up, but she's not exactly talented at it yet. But she moves in with a smile, and she takes Roland's hand and squeezes it real hard.
He puts his other hand, on top of hers and sort of clasps it in both of his, just sort of yes, come and join us, I'm glad you're here, kind of motion. I was just regaling them with do you recall the Bretonnian knight who referred to himself as Sir Gallant?
Vaguely, I don't...
Roland immediately puts on this hurt look, what do you mean vaguely? Sadhbh knows him well enough that this is all a performance that he is doing. Mm-hmm. He's not actually hurt, but he puts on the hurt face for the crowd.
You dispatched him so quickly that he's only a footnote in my mind.
And he looks around.
There is audible giggling from some of the ladies who are captivated by Roland's stories.
Roland, I'm sorry to rob these folks of your presence, but I think I need to get back. We should leave.
Of course. If the Knights do this call, then they call. And he looks at, pick one of them, and he extends a hand out to one of, some Ventru that has been listening to him, unless there happens to be a Toreador in the circle.
There are Toreador present.
He extends a hand out to one of the Toreador, probably the one he's been talking to the most, and goes, the unfortunate part of being an honorable knight is that one must fulfill one's duties when called, no? And he kisses her hand. If you ever find yourself, my lady, visiting the courts of love, may we both be so blessed to be there at the same time. Come, Saif, shall we away? And he sort of turns as if this is just the picture of a noble knight with the intention both to leave an impression and kind of, as always, make sure the impression is of him and not Saif.
Saif will give a nod to the assembled circle. Thank you and good evening, everyone. And she will kind of be tucked under Roland's arm as
he puts a hand on not the small of her back,
Yeah.
but between her shoulder blades, near her shoulders, sort of gesturing and walking out, yes, let's go out into the city, and doesn't drop that facade at all while eyes are still on them.
Saif's goal is that while Zorion and Catrinel are being noble and being the focus of the prince's attention, they can kind of make their way out.
To this point, you notice that you have collected a shadow yourself, and Zorion's man Ambrose is a few feet off from behind you, making sure that nobody is going to touch you. And Zorion gives a quick double snap in Catrinel's direction, and before she can get insulted that he's snapping at her, she sees that Diego has stepped up next to you and offers his arm to help you out of the seat. Or I'm sorry, Dario.
I don't know that can happen before.
That's a fair point. But Dario is standing at your side with an arm extended.
As Zorion is making his gracious exit, you can tell that Catrinel has no intention of making leaving easy on you. You've come over, you've expressed that it's time to go, and she has not moved. She did stand up, of course, when the prince stood up, and as you make your goodbyes, she is lovely, she is polite, she indicates that she agrees, of course, with everything that you're saying. And when it seems that your very nice conversation has finished up, she adds in her goodbye of, "Well, remember your domain well, Prince." And maybe you might have understood by this point that the fact that you started a conversation with this guy was the reason she's willing to leave at all. And then you snap your fingers, and maybe it's very quick indeed, that your well-mannered, well-trained, very capable man comes up. But I am spending a willpower to time that frenzy to be outside, because I cannot risk it being a frenzy inside. But there is that flicker of the beast, that sharpness you can see in that hint of a grimace that curls her lip, that sharpness that pops up in her fangs, the way that sometimes her eyes glint red, and the moment passes, and then she sees him, and she walks along with you. But she walks a few steps faster.
Does she allow Diego to escort her?
No.
Around now, the entrance to the room opens, and storming in are 4 of the city guard. And they enter and are directed to the sheriff, and there seems to be a very animated conversation that is happening between them.
Saif will lean into Roland. They're here for us. We have to go now. We have to go.
He says nothing out loud, but there is a further, rather than resting a hand on her shoulder, he is pushing her along and just stepping past the guards as they enter, like, none of my fucking business, and strides straight outside.
Sadhbh will look back at Zorion and at Catrinel, trying to see where they are and how fast they're moving.
Catrinel's probably catching up to you. She's walking fast. It doesn't seem that she understands the gravity of the situation because no one's told her. She just would like to walk fast.
The rest of us are on the way out.
The group of you make your escape from the party. But where are you headed?
My man Diego should have prepared the caravan. The Abyss has shown me that there may be an ambush laying in wait for us.
Well, we had to get out of there because there was a lupine attack on the slave quarters tonight. Little Roland was killed.
There's a lupine in the city. What business of that is ours? That sounds like the sheriff's problem.
It is the sheriff's problem, but also a Kuldoon came into the city recently with ties to the lupines. And she looks over at Catrinel with an apologetic look. So we were going to be detained and questioned.
And where did you come across this information?
We can get into that later. Can one of you summon Alexios?
I have no idea how to get in contact with Alexios.
I don't know how yet.
The eyes of the Abyss have been trying to find him this whole time. He is talented at evading them.
Amun, the deed is done. Where are you headed?
I'm going to be heading back to where I left my other set of clothing so that I can drop off all of this gear for Farik to dispose of and get back into my usual identity right now. I don't know if Farik is planning on meeting me there. He would probably be the person I would turn this ledger over to if I had to guess, right?
When you arrive, Farik is waiting for you. He looks out over the city where there are still the sounds of screams and violence as slaves rampage against their captors. Roland is dead?
Roland is dead.
Well done, Desert Wolf. What can you tell me of his plans?
Not much. I did not let the venture speak.
Wise.
I hand him over the ledger, but I do have a record.
We will pore over this ledger, learn what can be found.
If quick, you might be able to steal in and take his other things, but I could not.
Very well. I suppose I should warn you.
Of?
There is tale of a Kuldoon of the clan of dragons. One who has arrived to the city and boasts power over the lupines. The Ventrue believe she is responsible for the attack. Advantageous to us, but you will want to see to your friends.
I assume this means one of the people that I came into the city with.
It does.
I'm already stripping off the other stuff and dropping it on the ground, and then I will put on my regular Alexios garb, including the necklace as I put it back on.
When you don the necklace, your form changes to that of Alexios.
Do you know where they are in the city?
I am to understand they have attended Prince Rikard's party.
I will go see for them.
Very well. Safe journeys, my friend.
You will see me soon.
Peace be with you.
And I will vault off the nearest roof into other ones and have a good time getting around the city as usual as I head towards the party and see if I can't find the 4 Cainites that I came in with.
Alexios, I would like you to make me a perception investigation roll as you begin looking for signs of the coterie.
I will spend a willpower on this because it is important. 4 successes.
With 4 successes, you find Zorion's men already organized and prepared. There are additional wagons that have been provided for the journey as offered when the deal was struck with the elders. It looks like everything is ready to go, and as you get a look at it, you can actually see your companions making haste towards where the men are waiting and ready to go.
Is there any chance that I have enough time to make it look like I was helping with the preparations?
Roll me a manipulation plus stealth.
5 successes.
Okay, with 5 successes, you startle one of the men that is loading a small chest onto one of the new wagons, but he kind of gives you a nod, just kind of accepting that you've been there and are supposed to be there, and then just hands you the next chest for you to load.
Very good. I start helping them load stuff into the wagons.
Moments later, the coterie arrives.
Oh, good, he's already here.
Convenient. Zorion sneers.
Have you heard the news, Alexios?
That we're leaving the city? That's all I've really heard.
I meant the part where they couldn't keep my name out of their mouth.
Apparently there has been a lupine attack.
I've heard a lot of the sounds from that part of the city, but I haven't heard anything about any lupines.
He didn't say which part of the city.
So,
The noisy part of the city?
Alexios. All right, I'm going to need a manipulation subterfuge.
Do I get a counter roll?
I've never heard.
Since you are the one that picked up on the little hole in his fib, you get to roll perception empathy against him.
Does my spec and motivations count?
Yes.
I had 2 1s, but I still got 2 successes.
I have 1 success. I rolled a lot of 4s.
Saeed, you're not sure why, but you bringing up that where it wasn't specified, Alexios seems uncomfortable at you bringing that up. And you can kind of tell that there's some shiftiness going on.
Saeed looks him up and down, but doesn't continue the conversation. Just kind of files that information away. We were going to be detained at the party if we didn't leave when we did.
I didn't think it would be an all-night thing, so yeah. It's good that we're going.
As they're talking, Zorion's kind of focused in on making sure that everything's prepared to get the fuck out of here. He immediately accepts his sword from Diego, who also passes blades in their scabbards back to Dario and Ambrose, and we all start affixing those onto belts to make sure that we're actually properly armed.
Roland whistles, and from the area that he was kept so as not to kill every other horse, Yellentu trots up. Roland mounts immediately, and from his roll tied on the back of the horse, he actually does pull and affix his own blade for the first time since coming to the city.
Catrinel is going to use her Kryna.
I need you to make a perception plus occult roll with a difficulty of 3.
4 successes.
With 4 successes, you are able to sense a mile radius around you.
Catrinel rolls her eyes and then screws them shut, murmuring, "Would that I had a lupine." And she spends a point of blood. She keeps her eyes closed for a few moments, her hands extended from herself, as if feeling the world around her. And it seems like that same tactile understanding of what she might have of flesh or fabric or the way that the world interweaves flows up through her fingers and into her eyes. And when she opens her eyes again, it seems that she sees more than what is in front of her. And she casts her senses out, scouring the city for this incoming threat.
Path of Night, War of Ages is an actual play Vampire the Masquerade Dark Ages podcast set in the world of darkness. Alexios is played by Tim Davis. Catrinel is played by Rebecca Steigelfest. Roland Roncevaux is played by Rob Muirhead. Saeed is played by Erika Webb. Zorion de Iruña is played by Garrett Gabbey. Your storyteller is Lex Lopez. The music used in this episode was Don't Look Back by DaniHaDani and Maya Belsitzman. Path of Night uses the 20th anniversary edition of Vampire the Masquerade Dark Ages with a few limited house rules. Vampire the Masquerade and the World of Darkness are owned by White Wolf and Paradox Interactive. Be sure to subscribe to us on Spotify, Apple Podcast, or wherever you find your podcast. You can find us on YouTube at youtube.com/@pathofnight. You can help support the show at ko-fi.com/pathofnight. Look for us on social media at Path of Night Podcast, or email us at pathofnightpodcast@gmail.com. See you next time, Cainites.
So we'll call the scene there.
Tim, I hope you had fun.
Yeah.
Exciting stuff.
Fuck that guy in particular. Do we want to...
Roland is giga dead.
Yep.
You torpor? No.
No. Wait. I could tell you things. No. I'm gonna stomp you.
That is actually in his write-up,
Yeah.
that if he gets a chance to snitch on his master, he will fucking do so and cut any deal he needs to in order to live. Unfortunately, he was confronted by Silence of Death, Werejackal Man,
The least curious.
the least curious.
The problem is I'm not going to fuck around with
Dominate.
Dominate.
I'm teasing you.
Yeah.
I do understand that.
Yeah.
Well, he was 10th gen.
I don't know any of that shit.
I just need you to understand how bad his odds were of pulling this off.